Hello, Esther. Okay, I'll make you the host now. Hello?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes, audible? I'm audible?
Perfect.
Okay. I actually took your host and then because I
It's
was
okay.
no, I was launching YouTube live. For that, I should be the host. Just a second. I think that live I have to reduce the volume. It is echoing.
Yeah, it's echoing. Yeah.
This is from the YouTube. Okay. It's live already. Okay, because that is also happening, and then that always, I think, some lagging behind, some few seconds, 5 to 7 seconds.
Yeah.
That is how the relay is happening. I thought Joshua has already joined. Where is he? He's not here. We have to start now. Joshua is first, yes, the. So
Okay.
I'm starting, and then yeah, Josh, he has joined.
So first you, then Mr. Joshua, then Dr.
Mhm.
Matthew sir.
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Razina. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. Can you hear me?
Yes, are you royal background? Are you in your institution?
I'm in the library.
Library. Oh,
Yes,
so
because
nice.
my office is a bit noisy there, so I came to
No,
the library.
no wonder you are in a luxurious place. Okay. How are you? How is work now?
How are you, madam?
I'm fine. So she is our office admin. Esther is there.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
She's joined from Calcutta.
Back.
So you're from Hyderabad, I'm from Bangalore. And Joshua, we actually had 1,100 registration and lot of people and then all working people. Plus, I think 4 o'clock is the time normally one by one will be traveling back to there. But still, yesterday when we launched, we had around 200 people. And then, like within 10-15 minutes, it became 300. So till the end, we had 300 all the time, 309 like that. And then we also used a survey, and then we have also done a pre-survey, a questionnaire with them. And then nearly half of them, around 480 people submitted the survey. It is basically, maybe I think we should have shared with you. And since you're coming again, I'll share that with you. And then that was very helpful for us to know with regards to ethical practices in higher education institution, where the institution stands, and then what type of where exactly the teaching faculty stand with regard to code of ethics, even though they know in many places they can't raise their voices, and then there is literally no connection with the teaching community and the administrator. It's like the teaching people are never ever consulted for anything. The management decides and then the instruction goes, and that is how. So nobody can question. So that is how it operates actually. So a lot of issues. And then yesterday we had Dr. Goodwin. I think you should know him. And he also gave a very good delivery, and then like an eye opener it served, and too many questions, and then we could not like attend to all the questions. That many questions were there, and then the important one he did answer. So we had a very good session yesterday. And then also we used actually a questionnaire nearly 200, like in the end we checked yesterday, even though at a time it was 300, we were able to see nearly 470 people attended. We checked so they come and go like that whenever they are free. So one period they are free, they are logging in like that. So the response is really very good. And will you be using your PPT, Joshua?
Yes. If you can give
Okay,
me the
so
sharing option.
I
Share
think you
screen.
can share as a panelist. If it is looking green, the share screen, the arrow in the center, you can try now.
Right.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just try it now, and then we can launch it actually.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, it is full screen. Yeah, it's moving also. It's moving. Okay, then can we start? Are you talking, Joshua?
Yes, yes. You want me to start now?
No. We will introduce you. So you can
Okay.
close the screen. And then first,
Yeah.
I think 3 of us will be seen. She is launching it and then I'll begin. And then I'll also introduce you and then you can take over.
Okay.
Okay, so Esther, just a second. Esther, give me 1 minute.
Sure,
I'll
ma'am.
because I actually put Methuselah first, now I have to just make the change. Yes, Esther, you can launch it. All the best, Joshua.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to one and all present here on this webinar flow. I'm Rajula, the Regional Manager for Globethics South Asia Center, Bangalore. It's an international forum committed to ethics in higher education. Thank you all for joining us for the second day of the Faculty Development Program on Ethics Model of Excellence Framework. This online FDP is a joint effort of the PG and Research Department of Commerce, Rani Anna Government College for Women, Tirunelveli, and Globethics South Asia Center, Bangalore. We thank each and every one of you for joining us today. The flow of today is as follows. We have the first talk by Mr. Mandapalli Joshua Theodore George, who is Associate Director for International Rankings and Accreditations, Woxen University, Hyderabad. That will be followed by the cross curator's presentation, Dr. John Methuselah. Some information about this FDP. We had shared the first day feedback link this morning. Some of you have submitted, and I request all the others to complete your feedback for yesterday's event. You could ignore if you have already done it. And please be aware that each day we are coming out with a questionnaire that is the feedback based upon the lectures that you are listening to. And after the FDP, that means after the 7 days, there will also be a survey and you have to complete before you receive your certificate from us. And we are also recording this event. You can request for the link and we will be happy to share with you. You can watch and share with others. And once again, I encourage each and every one of you to introduce yourself. It was encouraging for us to see yesterday that we had participants attending from all the states of India and also from outside the country, from Africa and other part of the world. So please introduce yourself. We request you to post your questions also on the Q&A box. The speaker is really enlightened and He really would like to take up your question and then answer, and he want to have a nice interaction with you all. So please come out with questions and post it in the Q&A box. And I take this time to introduce the first speaker of the day who is with us. He is Mr. Mandapalli Joshua Theodore George, and currently he is Associate Director for International Rankings and Accreditations at Oxford University, Hyderabad. He is an academic quality assurance specialist and a higher education expert with over 25 years of experience in international higher education. He worked in Malaysia for 20 years and 4 years in Saudi Arabia as a consultant for the Ministry of Education on quality assurance matters. His previous responsibilities were lecturer in architecture, head of Department of Built Environment, academic coordinator, principal, and head of quality assurance. He has 2 years of work experience in India also. His key achievements are he has assisted in obtaining an outstanding 6-star rank for the college in Malaysia twice in a row. He has developed quality framework for technical colleges in Saudi Arabia. He has designed and developed a curriculum for many programs in built environment. He has achieved full accreditation for all programs by the Malaysian Qualification Agency. And we have the right person to speak to all of us today. So I request all of you to give an applaud from wherever you are. And welcome, Joshua. Hearty welcome, and please take over the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Zillan. Good afternoon to all of you. It's been a pleasure to be here with all of you to discuss about some of the important aspects in rankings and accreditations. And firstly, I would like to thank the regional coordinator of India.
Have we lost him, Esther?
With
It's like that the network is very low, bandwidth is slow.
Actually, they have asked me to speak.
Joshua, we can't hear you. Dear participants, kindly excuse us, he'll join back. And meanwhile, we have yesterday's speaker, Dr. Godwin, with us. And sir, can we request you to say a few words? Dr. Goodwin? Esther, please rename him Dr. Goodwin. Dr. Goodwin, are you there? I'll just make a call and find out. Yes, Joshua, you can start. You're mute. Yeah, please continue.
So, I was asked to discuss with you on understanding and aligning the benchmarks of It will take us to see. Now, the thing is, it's a huge topic. It's a very big topic with wide scope. And so I'm going to um, uh, limit myself to certain parts of expectation and rankings, that sort of thing, because it's a very wide area. So I will try to make it as simple as possible so that everybody can understand what exactly I'm trying to arrive at. So I hope all of you can see the screen. Um, if
Yes.
if you're unable to hear my voice or see the screen, kindly raise it in the chat box so that we can rectify the technical problems. Now, a lot of you are a bit confused about quality control and quality assurance. Okay. You always hear this word quality control, and suddenly you come to quality assurance. Then what exactly is the difference between these two? Now, quality control, I will make simple. I just made a very simple definition here. It says product inspection and correction. Okay, more suitable for manufacturing units. So, you see in the industries, they manufacture a lot of spare parts, items, utensils, a lot of things. So what they do is there will be the whole manufacturing process will be undertaken by somebody else, the workers, the technical people. But at the end, there will be a person or a group of people called quality control team who will just look at the product, and if the product is not meeting the specifications, for example, and this giving an example. Let's say they are manufacturing this water bottle. Okay, this water bottle must have a particular diameter, and particular grooves, a handle, and the handle should not come out. This sort of thing. So they check, and if this doesn't meet the specifications, they will just throw it, discard it, because it doesn't meet the specifications. Whereas quality assurance is not like quality control. It is a series of processes, a set of processes which are designed for improvement. Now, when we come to education, unlike in companies, in industries, in manufacturing, you have a product. This is a product, right? This water bottle is a product. Now, in our education, the product is a student. But the problem is, if the student is not meeting the standards, we cannot just simply throw him out of this cart. Student, right? So this is where the problem comes. Okay, just like a product means we can just throw it outside. But a student cannot do that. And we have to remember that the student is customer. So what we do is we come up with a series of processes to make the student meet the standard of the industry. So this is one definition of quality. Quality is for exceptional standards, consistency or perfection, some value for money, because a student comes, they pay a lot of money to join. At the end of the program, they should realize that whatever they paid for is really worth, the value for money. Transformation. See, the student is freshly coming out from pre-university, from the school, and we are molding him. And at the end of the 4 years or 5 years program, we are making him a doctor or an engineer or a businessman, whatever it is. We are making something out of that, the raw ingredient, right? So we are transforming the lives of the students. That is how to do this. So some people have given this quality, given the definition of quality in such a way. I have simplified this. This is my definition of quality. On one side, we have academic excellence and employment. The other side, we have financial gain. Many times we forget, we try to think, as the academic people, all of us, we think in a very idealistic way. We think teaching profession is very noble. We have to do this, we have to do that, which is quite good, which is true. But at the same time, we forget the other facet of education, the financial gain. Education is also a business. Now, unlike other businesses, education business has got uh, a different objective and responsibility. You raise the funds, you raise the funds, you increase the financial capacity of the institution so that we can increase the quality. Now, in my experience, I have nearly 26 years experience in higher education. You know what I observed? We can talk a lot about quality, but without money, we cannot do it. You need finances for the sustenance of an institution. So, quality is for financial gain. I will tell you how it helps in financial gain. Now, quality takes you from this part. See, for example, we have current practices, whatever you're following, whether good or bad, whatever it is. We do assessment, self-assessment. We call it self-assessment. Based on the self-assessment, you know where you stand. See, we do this for everything, right? We always self-assess ourselves. Where do we stand? See, for example, you are sitting for an IAS exam, civil services. First, you will always think, where do I stand? What is my level of knowledge? What are the resources I'm having? Can I afford to join an institution? All this, what is my knowledge? Thank you. So you assess yourself, then you come up with a quality improvement. So use that. So in self-assessment, we develop a quality improvement plan and we travel towards excellence from current practices going towards excellence. Now you'll be sometimes. Can you hear me? Madam, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So sometimes you will be wondering, oh, we are doing very well. We have the best practices and all. Known KPMG. KPMG is an audit company. It also audits higher education institutions. So once I was involved in the KPMG audit, I was asked to comply with the KPMG audit. So I was producing all the documents with them. I saw their dashboard. The auditor has shown me the dashboard. Dashboard has got dynamic variables. Their metrics, whatever the measure, is dependent on the European standards. And the European institutions keep changing. They are always increasing the bar. See, for example, this year, they put above our employee, the graduation rate must be 90%. Next year, they increase it to 91.5% or 92%. The following year, they may increase to 92.5%. They keep on increasing the bar. That's how most of the Western institutions, the reason why they excel is because they keep raising the standards. And we, from other countries, we have to keep up with them. Otherwise, we lose the game. So the KPMG, I saw the whole structure. The metrics are very dynamic. They keep changing and they keep changing. So what they do is they correlate the whole thing. They take a percentile, and they for that particular month, what is the standard? That's how they measure. So we should never be complacent, thinking that, oh, we're doing very well. We have to keep increasing the bar and always aiming for excellence. So this is a very continuous process. Without this, our institutions will be dead. Today, near hundreds of colleges have closed down, educational institutions in India. I think most, hundreds of engineering colleges have closed down, hundreds of degree colleges have closed down in India because they were never trying to achieve the excellence, just trying to survive and sustain. That's what they're trying to do. Okay, excellence, going towards excellence will always keep you in the market. That's what. Now, um, this is these are the components in a quality assurance framework. The reason why I'm showing you all this is for you to get a basic idea about quality assurance. I'll come into the ethics later. Okay? So normally, as I told you, quality assurance is a process. Unlike quality control, you cannot define very clearly how it should be done. So we always come up with a process. So we anticipate. So we tell the education institutions that they have to have a policy, curriculum design, learning, teaching, assessment, all these components: student admission, teaching staff, research funding, partnerships, learning, information management, public information, ongoing periodic review, as external quality assurance. Then recently we have added sustainable development goals. I think all of you know UNESCO has added SDGs, right? Sustainable development goals. Equity and diversity is another one. So we say your institution has to ensure that you are following all these components. Okay. So now you'll ask me, these are just the titles. Okay. I have just given you one small example where this is teaching, learning, and assessment guidelines. For example, here we take you see teaching, learning, teaching, and assessment. This is the title. Under this, you have a self-explanatory kind of thing which will be developed. For example, the students attending to diversity of students and the needs, flexible learning, using different modes of delivery to teach, using a variety of pedagogical and anthropological methods, regular evaluation of the modes of delivering pedagogical methods, autonomy in learning process. All this, we tell the institution these are the things to follow. Similarly, assessment, how the assessment has to be carried out. Now, this is the one I have developed for the Saudi education institutions. Actually, I wanted to share with you, but because of lack of time, I will rush with the other things. Okay, I have developed for each and every title I mentioned here, I've given an explanation. Okay, what should be done under this title? And so the college will look at that and they follow that. That's all. So this acts like a guide. The whole quality assurance components framework acts like a guide to the higher education institutions. What they should follow to get training to enable quality. This is another simple framework by this one, European Network of Quality Assurance. Now, PMQA is literally the mother of the quality assurance, because the entire the process of quality assurance we started from Europe and it spread across the entire Europe. And now all of you are familiar with NAC, right? NAAC. Now, NAC started its operations recently. I don't know how many years, probably 6 years, right? 6 or 7 years, I don't know. NAC, NAAC. Okay. But NAC has started its exercises. I'm not sure about it, but basically NAC has taken from the UNESCO guidelines. UNESCO has given guidelines to all the countries that all the higher education institutions must follow the quality assurance processes. So that's why every country came up with their own quality assurance agencies. For example, in UK, we have QAA. Then we have in Malaysia, I was working in Malaysia, we have Malaysian Qualifications Agency, MQA. Singapore has got their own. Then India has got NAC. Saudi Arabia has got NCTBA. So different organizations have different qualifications. But basically, the structure comes from qualifications in higher education. Okay, UNESCO also has used the same parameters in their qualifications. So if you are doing it in India or if you're doing it in UK or studying in Singapore, the quality assurance framework is more or less the same. The NAC guidelines, your other guidelines in other countries are almost the same. There are only just very slight differences here and there, but mostly it's the same.
Joshua, sorry to interrupt. I think some participants are putting message that the sound they are not able to. So can you just try removing the microphone? Many are putting message because something very important you're talking.
Oh, can you hear me now, madam? Clearly?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm placing the mic wrong.
Can the participants drop a message?
Is it okay now?
Yeah. Can some of the participants put the message if it is fine? Yeah, there is a message. Yes.
Is it okay now? I think I'm holding the mic wrong. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's better. Everyone is saying yes now. Thank you.
Okay. So they came up with 7 parameters for quality assurance. You can see here. Because European and American institutions are very interested in this, the parameter for public information. Everything must be published. So this is one thing different from us. Okay. So now, I will skip this part because it may take a lot of time. Okay. What do the quality assurance bodies measure, or what does quality assurance measure? There are so many things that we measure because just now I said it's a bit difficult to quantify. It's difficult to quantify certain processes. But then again, we always have to give a measure. For example, you have a teacher teaching the course. Then there's another teacher teaching a different course. Now the students will come and say, this teacher is teaching better than the teacher. So we don't want that teacher, we want this teacher. This is a common problem everywhere. So as a quality assurance guy, I always go to the lesson observations. I always do lesson observations. And I sit in the class and I try to observe how the teaching is going. I have a form which I have developed on my own. I look at that. That form is a non-judgmental form. I don't judge the person. I only take down certain points. And at the end, I quantify the whole thing. That means I give them a grade. But the grade is also based on certain parameters. For example, if I'm giving a grade, that means the best thing. That means the teacher should have followed this parameters. The teacher should have done this. It's very clearly defined. Then I give a rate. And later, I talk to them personally and give them a feedback. Tell them, see, you have done very well in these areas. Wonderful. But I think there are some areas which we have to improve on, and we have to do a bit for give them pointers. And it tells them how to. So you still can quantify a teaching observation. That's not observation. Just pause. So quality assurance measures a lot of things. There are 5 primary things which are very, very important to measure. One is student outcomes. Everything depends on the student outcomes or the program outcomes, whatever you call it. Okay. What exactly the student will be doing once they complete this program? They have to be able to measure. Then graduation rates. Again, this graduation rates we have on-time graduation. If a student is studying 4 years program and UGC says they have to finish the course in 6 years, that 6 years is considered as on-time graduation. Not we always think 4 years, but we have to see the time frame given by UGC, how many is the short-term graduation rates. If they cannot complete, then probably they get an extension. So those graduation rates won't be coming under on-time graduation. Then you have employment rates. How many people have been employed? Now here there's another problem. A guy who's doing mechanical engineering should not end up working in a Photoshop machine company, right? Doing Photoshopping. What do you call it? Xerox shops. He has supposed to work as a mechanical engineer. So that's how we calculate the employment rates. He's done computer science and working in some other sector, then it's not relevant to do it. But still again, then we take it if it's related to the study period study. Then employer satisfaction. Whether the employer is satisfied with the knowledge or the skills of this graduate or not. Normally, we always conduct, I think all of you know QS rankings. QS conducts employer survey. So we also conduct employer satisfaction survey to know where exactly our students stand. Then we have graduate satisfaction. See, the students are here for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. They have a good time. They'll enjoy with their friends, they like the campus and all. But once they go into the real world, then some of them start complaining, man, whatever we studied in so-and-so college or so-and-so university is a waste. We learned nothing. Whatever we learned is not useful in our workplace. Okay, so they may be dissatisfied, or they may be satisfied, or they may be extremely satisfied. So graduate satisfaction is one. These 5 components are very key to measure the quality in a higher education setup. Apart from that, you have other things like progression rates. That is, how many people are going from one section to another section. How many people have started in year 1 and how many people have graduated by final year. Then financial stability, how much money is there that the institution is making. Research areas, how many publications are going on, how many people are involved in research. This includes staff and student research and so on. Then sustainable goals. United Nations has given 17 sustainable goals. We are supposed to follow some. Then equality, diversity, and inclusion, EDI. This is becoming a very prominent feature now. All these organizations are asking us to measure this EDI. Then resources, teaching quality, faculty, public awareness. So these are the things that are measured. How are they measured? Okay. Now, it's internal quality assurance. We do self-assessments and program evaluations to measure all these things. Then we have internal audits as well to measure the things. Surveys, we conduct the survey, student satisfaction survey, then also student satisfaction on the teaching. See, on the student satisfaction on the resources, it's different. Student satisfaction on particular teacher is different. So we also conduct the surveys. Then we conduct interviews. Then we do a benchmarking. We do a comparison with somebody else. Okay, that's how we measure. Then, who measures and validates? Okay, on one side, we measure internal quality assurance, but apart from that, there are external quality assurance agencies, EQAs. EQA stands for External Quality Assurance Agencies. For example, accreditation bodies, we have NAC. NAC is our Indian accreditation body. ABET is an American one for engineering programs. AACSB is also an American for the international one for business programs. Then there are so many other bodies. I just give a few examples. Then you have ranking bodies like, for example, NIRF for India. Then QS rankings, QS has got international rankings, and THE. THE stands for Times Higher Education Rankings. These are the ranking bodies. Then you have certification bodies like ISO, Six Sigma, etc. Then auditors like KPMG, PwC, KPMG and PwC. PwC is the PricewaterhouseCoopers. Then Deloitte, Cassin. Then you have so many other, auditors to also measure the financial stability and other things. So these people, they validate us, the processes. They say, oh, these guys are doing well, they're following the processes. When they give a certification, that means we are there. We're following those international standards. So this is a screenshot I've taken from the Malaysian ranking, which I have done in 2012. Not 2012, yeah, 2012, I think. I've done this in 2012. In 2012, this one, they have given some benchmarks. See, for example, you see the benchmark library, they say ratio of book titles in library per course. For every course, there must be 10 books, 10 titles. So in most of our programs, let's say engineering program, we have 30 courses on average, uh, 30 or 40 courses, 40 courses or 30 courses on average. So we must have that many number of books times 10, okay, for each program. So if you maintain that, then you get the full marks. Then another one which I want to highlight is this one. You see here, this one. I'm showing the arrow. It says built up space per student for teaching learning of is 25 square meters. It's not square feet, it's square meters. That means in any campus, each student must be having 25 square meters of area. You know what does that mean? If there are 1,000 students, must have 1,000 times 25. That means 25,000 square meters of space. 25,000 square meters is how many? Around close to 6.5 to 7 acres of land. If you have 1,000. The reason why they came up with this standard is because this includes the classrooms, the washrooms, your stay your office rooms, conference halls, the public play areas, then your canteens, hostels, whatever it is, everything is included. So they want institutions to maintain that much of area. So they give a standard. So if you're having this, then you get full marks, otherwise you'll fall short. So this is another criteria they implemented. There are so many other things. For example, see, this is another one. Percentage of staff with 5 or more teaching areas, 50% of the staff must be in that organization for more than 5 years. No, the reason why they came up with this benchmark is because this shows the stability. In many institutions, people just come and go like that. Every other day, you have people resigning and going. This creates some sort of instability. So the institutions come up with parameters like this, not simply to burden us. Most of the time when you're doing documentation, institutions, this is a burden for us. Yeah, it's a burden, but at the same time, they want us to make sure that we are following certain standards, like international benchmarks. That's the reason why. So it's a compliance. It's a compliance which puts us in that particular place. Now, just going back to the initial definition of quality assurance. Okay, it says, you see here that this is the definition of the quality assurance. Quality assurance is a system based on the premise that requires a whole institutional approach for a complete transformation with quality involved top-level commitment. So, quality assurance is cheaper. That means the entire institution must work together to achieve the targets. That's the thing. It's not an individual effort. That means it's not one person deciding what should be done. The entire workforce must. When we say quality assurance, many people will be under the impression that it only involves the staff, the faculty, the teaching faculty. No. If you look at the quality assurance framework, it involves everyone, including the security guard, okay, including the cook in the restaurant, in the canteen, including the guy who's washing the clothes in the. So everybody is included in this quality assurance system. They have to maintain certain things. When you go for ISO certification, you know what you have? We have objectives. We call them measurable objectives. We say that, okay, if a student is giving a complaint I'm going to resolve the complaint within 48 hours. That is the measurable objective. Now, when they come for audit, you have to show them the proof that you have complied with that. That means how many complaints you have received from the students and how many were resolved within the 48 days. So this is the type of, so you're always on your toes. When you're going for certifications like ISO, you're always on your toes. You have to comply with that. So you will put in work. You'll make sure everything goes on according to the plan. So complying with quality assurance agencies, ranking agencies, certification bodies, this is really, really important for higher education institutions. I think recently you would have read in the news that a lot of some of the European universities, they say, don't want to take part in the ranking. I think it came in the news. Very premier universities, they say we don't want to take part in the ranking. You know why? Because the ranking, European ranking system gives a lot of emphasis for research. So they say, we are doing a lot of research and we don't have time to attend to the student. We are doing a lot of, we're spending a lot of time to meet the requirements of the research publications and all that stuff. Students are coming, we don't have time to spend with them, we don't have time to chat with them, and we don't have time to prepare even for the lesson we are going to deliver. So this is putting a lot of pressure on us and we don't want to take part. We still continue our research, but in our own pace. So the university says, okay, fine. So a lot of European institutions are dropping out from ranking because of this problem. Of course, there are problems. There are always problems. Okay, we always have to come up with a plausible solution for that. I mean, that simply trying to avoid things. This is another question. Ethics and quality. Because today I'm focusing only on this part, ethics and quality. Integrating ethics to curriculum. Now, Globe Ethics has been doing this, working on this very vigorously. Mr. the team, they're coming up with so many progress, how to integrate ethics into curriculum. So once when you're teaching the student about ethical practices right from the start, so it's already inculcated in the mind. So that part is really, really useful. Then always updating the curriculum to meet industry standards. This is the readiness for change. Why I emphasized on this, I will tell you. Most of our faculty, they don't like to change the curriculum because first thing is we put a burden on them. time constraint. Again, they have to change a lot of things. They have to change the teaching plans, lesson plans. They have to come up with new PowerPoints and stuff. So they don't change. But they have realized the world is very changing fast. Keep up with them. Otherwise, we will be like the hundreds of other colleges which have been closed down if we don't change. The best example is Nokia. I think all of you know. Nokia was the world leader in cell phone, in the phone, handheld phones in the 1990s. Okay, in the 1990s, everybody who bought a phone used to buy a Nokia phone. Nokia was the leader of the market. Then came the smartphones, and Nokia was a bit slow in shifting from the normal phones, but type of phones, to the smartphones. And they lost the market. And until now, they cannot recover. The same thing will happen to us. We have to always keep updating our curriculum so that the industry requirements and standards are met. So this is called the readiness for change. Just because we don't want to do additional work or I don't need to do all this stuff, then let me stick to my original. So we should be always on our toes to change. Another one is unbiased approach towards meeting the cognitive needs of the students. You have to realize every student has got their own cognitive needs. We had realized that and tried to come up with custom-made learning plans for some of the students. Yet this is a bit of fun work because it's not simply going to the class teaching and coming back. We need to keep track of the student needs. This is a bit of work. So a lot of people, teaching faculty, try to avoid this. So what happens is some students feel they are neglected or ignored. Another one is fairness reporting. Now, I went to one very premier institution in India, and I was talking to the guy, the head of the department. So we were discussing, and he asked me what exactly I did. So I was telling him what exactly I do. Then he told me that, oh, the quality experience in India is good. Here, we don't do all these things. Just report. Of course, just submit documents. Then I was a bit shocked. I said, oh, you don't know all these things for quality? They said, no, just compile the report and just submit it. And most of the values, they just manage the data. Rather than complying with the requirements, they just manage the data, spruce it up, give it a nice facial makeup, and they just submit. So we are deceiving ourselves. We're not deceiving somebody else. We are deceiving ourselves. We are deceiving the student by not complying with the quality. So, ethical practices, we need to fair and then ensuring that the student outcomes are tested accurately. See, a guy who is doing a certificate in welding, for example, a person is doing a certificate in welding. Once he completes that, he must be able to do welding, arc welding, or whatever it is. He must be doing the welding joints perfectly without any, with a clean finish. That is the outcome. If that outcome is not met, his certificate is just a waste, just a piece of paper. The same goes to our students who are doing engineering or medicine or whatever it is. What exactly are they supposed to do once they finish the program? So those students' outcomes must be assessed, tested accurately. Now, I see in Indian, not only in India, in some of the other countries, the teaching staff are compromising because they are under pressure from the management to produce result. They say, oh, they must be 100% pass. They don't want the student to be detained. So what they do, they give them the easiest assessment for the pass. Now, this is where the quality is effective. Now, we can get 100% pass, no doubt. But after going on, what are students doing in the market? Where are they? That's the question. So the student outcomes must be defined and must be tested accurately. Another one is ensuring that the assessment is evaluated fairly. Fair evaluation is one thing. I know about one guy, a friend of mine, who sat for an examination and he passed with flying colors. I asked him, he said he did not prepare, he just kept on writing. And the invigilator probably would have measured with the ruler and just given the marks, So that is not a fair assessment. Assessment must be there, fair and accurate. So these are some of the ethics we have followed in quality. Now, these should be followed by the academic faculty. Also, for example, if you talk about fairness and reporting, everybody should follow the IT manager, the security manager, whatever it is, the services guy, the human resources manager, finance manager, all these people have to do fairness. So everybody's hand is there in the ethics and quality. I'll just give you one example. For example, we take student outcomes. Student outcomes is basically knowledge, proficiency, competence. Okay? You test these three: knowledge, proficiency. So assessment must be fair so that you make sure that the student outcomes are tested on these bases. Okay, and everything is documented. Everything is documented. Now, there might be one question. How we have artificial intelligence. Students are using ChatGPT and other things, AI tools to do the assignments, to do projects, works. They're doing a lot of things with AI. The actually AI is a sudden phenomenon. The higher education institutions are actually not ready for AI. We're talking about AI, but we're not ready for AI. The students are coming up with beautiful assignments with wonderful Shakespearean language. And the minute you read that, that it's not done by the student. Okay, you can check and you know that it is real. So, can we avoid that? Now, the thing is, what should we do about it? We cannot avoid AI. It will become a part and parcel of everybody's life, especially in higher education. So, we have to come up with certain measures to handle. For example, this is an assessment table for AI. I've taken it from somebody else, the permission. So, um, how do you do the assessment? For example, they gave three categories: exceed expectations, meet expectations, not meet expectations. Without AI, how the assessment is measured? With AI, people use AI partially, then people use AI completely. For example, you look at the bottom part, AI completely. Okay, there are certain assignments where AI can use completely. But when it's used completely, what is the outcome? What's the output? You see here, they gave the definition: seamless integration of AI tools throughout the assignment creation process, resulting in a high coherent quality and relevant assignment. So, if a student can produce, satisfy this, then they have exceeded expectations, and then they can be given 80 or more marks, for this. So, this is the framework, and the faculty can choose which one they like. Probably they want students to use only partially, maybe 20% is allowed, maybe 40% is allowed, or depends on you. How do you know? We have tools like Turnitin. I think all of you are familiar with Turnitin. Turnitin is a software which will tell you what percentage of work is done by the student, and what percentage is taken from somebody else. So that clearly gives a report. So you can use certain that tools to measure and see, and you can come up with, you can use whatever grading you want based on this. Okay, there is another grading, the common European framework of reference. Now, unlike in India, we say A1 is the best, right? C2 is the worst. But in the European framework, it's just opposite. A1 and A2 are basic users. The best proficient users are C1 and C2. They go from down to the top, like when it goes up, the best is outstanding, probably is D. Like, I don't know whether they have a D or not, but this is the grading scale they have given. Why I'm telling you this is because when you assess a student, you should be very, very clear about your assessment. Not simply reading something and measuring that, how many pages he has written. There are students who write 1-page answer for 2 marks question. Then, of course, all of you have your principles of evaluation. What do you call that? Answer scheme or something like that. Okay, if the student writes this point, 1 mark. If the right student writes this mark, 1 point. Well, that's another thing. So we have principles of evaluation. But when you come to once you finish marking course, then we have to make a judgment whether this particular student has fulfilled the student outcome or not. So I have given you an example of European framework so that you understand how they grade. For example, C2. C2 is the highest grade. Okay, that fellow is, let's say, outstanding. So outstanding. Then says it defines what is outstanding. This is an example of language, French language. Okay, so outstanding. They define outstanding. What is outstanding? Um, what is accurate, fluent, interactive, coherence? You know, these sort of parameters they're given. If the guy is outstanding in these areas, how he has performed, how he has fared. If the guy is not that good, for example, A1, okay, when it comes to the range, he has got basic, he has used simple words, simple phrases. That means he doesn't have proper vocabulary to express himself. Then he shows limited control on grammatical structure. So why I'm telling you this is because you have to very clearly define your assessment, the student outcomes. Okay, just for the sake of marking something doesn't help you. You have to quantify that, make a cumulative judgment, and then come to then you can say whether the student has really performed or not. Now, how can instructors integrate ethics into learning environment? This is a big challenge for all of us, right? How are you going to do this? Okay, first thing is, the first and foremost thing is always leading by example. If you are perfect, if you try to be ethical, your student will learn from you. I always tell this, normally being a quality assurance manager, I train a lot of lecturers and university professors on teaching methodology. So first thing I tell them is, remember the student will look up to you. You are the hero in the movie. In the movie, you are the hero. The student will look up to you, and they will try to imitate you. So the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you dress up, the way you behave, the way you carry yourself makes a lot of difference. That's why teaching profession is not easy. You need to be role models. To be the examples, and then have to focus on the diversity and inclusivity. See, for example, in our Indian context, the physically challenged people means the physically handicapped, blind, these people are left behind. Whereas I saw in other countries, what they did, the deaf and dumb people, deaf and dumb, they cannot talk, they cannot hear. They have created some special IT courses for them. Special IT courses, which doesn't require them to talk and speak. All they need to do is type. So now we have got voice generated apps. They just type and the voice comes out. They can converse, using the voice generated apps. So now the thing is, in that particular country, all the deaf and dumb people are fully employed. There's no unemployment there, among the deaf and dumb people. Everybody is employed, and they went to the director's position as well. I seen one director who cannot read, but he's a director because he knows everything. Only thing is he cannot speak, but he's area. So prepare customized programs for physically challenged, include people. Why I'm saying that? Normally we always segregate these people and create some special schools, deaf and dumb schools, blind schools and all. If you integrate them within your own institution, your students will start developing an empathy on these people. They realize, oh my God, okay, these guys. So when these guys become employers, they will be encouraged to employ such people. So I have observed that, and I think I encourage you to do this. It's a very ethical practice. Then understanding and adapting to fast change social constructs. Things are changing very fast. You have Gen Zs, and Gen Z people are totally different. They have different attitudes, different expectations, different values and all. Now, I cannot simply sit here and say, oh, my time, it was like that. We always try to dwell on the past. Okay? oh, my time, it was like this. Our teachers were very strict. They used to beat us up. But that doesn't work now. Things keep changing. Okay, you cannot hit anybody. You cannot scold anybody. We are teachers, professors, lecturers, teachers. We are all doing a role of what do you call that? Facilitating role. No more teaching. We are facilitating. That is our role. And we have to realize that our role has changed. We are facilitators. We're just directing them towards knowledge. That's all. So we have to understand that and adapt, rather than try to impose our values on them. That encourage students to express themselves. Okay. In some countries, for example, in countries like Saudi Arabia, they don't allow the students to talk. They cannot talk on so many matters. Uh, they just have to listen to the teacher. Whatever the teacher says is right. So the society has been changing. There must be a discourse, some sort of discussion between the students and the staff. So that the faculty has to encourage students to express themselves. Even encouraging healthy discussions, even on controversial topics. Even the topic is, let's say, for example, a student want to talk on LGBTQ. Nowadays, everybody wants to talk on LGBTQ. Let them talk. Listen. Okay, listen to their side of the story. Don't try to confront them. Try to understand what exactly they're coming up with. What are their ideas? Then, so a basic type of mutual understanding is required between the faculty and the student. That is really required. If you do that, you know what the students will turn out to be? When they go into the industry, they will also start becoming listeners. Rather than dictating people, you do this, you do that, like autocratic style, they try to empathize and listen to different opinions. So this will help them to work in a group, a cohesive group. That's all it's culture. Then involving students in decision making. I've used to involve the students in all the even in curriculum development. The alumni, the guys who left, we involve them in the curriculum development. The existing students, we involve them in the program evaluations. We ask them, do you have any input in programs? So they say, sir, actually in the industry this is happening. So we would like that part to be incorporated to the curriculum. They'll come up with their own ideas. Or they come up, they say the resources are not good. This is not working, that's not working. Involve them in all the decision-making processes. Then research-based and formative assessment rather than exam-based assessment. See, we always tend to test the student the entire semester, whatever they studied, we try to test them in 3 hours. We think it's really fair to do that. Okay. So it is actually not fair. So in many countries, they're doing away with this examination system because they think it is not an accurate way of assessing the student. So again, the choice is yours, how you want to assess the student, but always make the assessment research-based. Make them do research. Then always try to encourage formative assessment rather than summative. Summative is always doesn't comprehensively test the learning outcomes. Also encourage citations, like always ask them to do reference. So this will make them realize that, avoid plagiarism. They know that they have to cite the sources. They simply cannot copy from somewhere else. They have to always mention the source. Because anyway, Turnitin softwares like Turnitin can find out whether you have copied or. They also use blended learning tools, teaching, learning, and assessment. This why I'm telling you about this is blended learning tools because the generation, this is the new generation Z, they like technology. So use technology to teach them. They'll be more they'll be more participative in the class. So you can engage the students well in the class. And also the assessment is also very easy and effective. So like we have apps like Kahoot, the Google Classroom, so many other things are there which you can use to do that. So instructors can integrate ethics into learning environment to do this. So now this is the last slide to close the session. Okay. Self-assessment, see, always comply with the accreditation and validation requirements. Don't go for shortcuts. Don't go for things which you think you are trying to manipulate somebody else, but actually you're deceiving yourself. Okay, do self-assessment always against the framework. Find out the gaps, then prepare the a quality improvement with the smart targets. Implement the quality improvement plan. Evaluate and review the plan. Measure the impact and fully comply. If you do this, then uh, you are following, you are trying to take your institution to the next level rather than going for shortcuts, rather than going for, trying to cheat somebody. This is very important. Next time, I know a lot of us will complain whenever, see, I'm in the international rankings and recommendations. Whenever my boss, the vice president, says we have to do this, I know a lot of people will start complaining, oh, this is a lot of work. Okay. But actually, it's not a lot of fun. If you are having all these ethical practices and quality, following it regularly, all you need to do is just document and show them. That's it. You need not create any new documents, right? I hope I answered some of your queries, what I have. But if you have anything, I will answer. Now I hand over the session back to Ms. Razula, and thank you all for patiently listening.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua George. It was very brilliant. Well, many of the things that you spoke, they're new to me. And already, like the participants, how nicely they're learning, enjoying, and their comments already, there in the chat box, quite a lot. Very informative, nice, good session.
I think I'll try to answer. I'll try to answer these questions. Yeah, I will share the PPT with Ms. Razula. Okay, I will send it to Ms. Razula. Then which one is more useful, AI or without AI? You cannot avoid AI. We cannot do that. AI is already there. Okay, and we actually, no one has got an idea what will be the impact of AI on higher education. We are only guessing something. Either it can be very beneficial or it can be very destructive, but we cannot do away with that. So we need AI. That's why we came up with some of the assessment patterns with AI. Can I use AI for a PhD thesis? Yes. There are people who are using ChatGPT for thesis, and they are using ChatGPT is one of the authors. They have already in medical research, last year in the medical research, 3 doctors have used ChatGPT to publish their thesis, and they have used publish a paper, and they have used ChatGPT as one of the authors. For PhD thesis, we can use, okay, but the thing is, see, you should not turn it into plagiarism. Plagiarism is a serious offense, copying from somebody else. You can, if you know how to use ChatGPT intelligently, you give the input, and ChatGPT will rephrase it in a nice way and give it back to you. So basically, it's your work. ChatGPT is giving you a makeup for that, So it won't be plagiarism. So, but you have to use very carefully and intelligently. How to improve quality education, higher education. Quality, yeah, I gave you the parameters, quality is, we have to always keep on our toes, updating our curriculum. See, finally, the bottom line is what the industry wants. We are supplying the manpower to the industry. Of course, there is knowledge. The people who don't want to do work, they just come here for knowledge. That's a different thing. But majority of them want employment. So what industry needs, what are the skills they need, we have to do that. And so I keep giving you certain parameters for quality. So I'll share that PPT with Mr. Razula. How can ethical conflicts be resolved if the teaching staff is not aware? If that's where the Globethic comes into picture. Globethics is trying to integrate ethics into the curriculum. They came up with a lot of initiatives. Razula previously was telling us that Global Ethics came up with so many initiatives, and they're also coming up with programs to do that. So I think that will really help integrate ethics into curriculum. There won't be any conflicts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua George, and I think it was really brilliant, your presentation, as I mentioned, that they are applauding like anything, and then a lot of new things, and then probably we should, hear from you, and then we should also create more occasion like this for you to, disseminate what you think with regard to the concern that you've discussed today with the people who have attended today, and also and then it's like, I think there are questions like whether they can use AI for PhD. And then what if AI, information is 99% and only 1% is human intelligence, then who should get a PhD? And then nowadays, okay. And then nowadays, like you'll agree with me. I don't think any participant who is here did not, receive FedEx scam call, and then, that phishing email, wishing messages, and then the fraudsters, the blackmailers, the hackers, they hack the website, and then through blackmailing, I think even people who are known to me, one person was working in the crime department. She herself lost 1.6 lakhs, and then they made her feel that her Aadhaar card is used, and then drags expired passport, credit card, using her Aadhaar card from Mumbai, it went to Thailand, and then it was caught there, and then arrest warrant is ready, like that. So who was actually falling prey to that? It is the educated people, not the uneducated. And then even I received the call when I was in a meeting, and then even panic, struck my mind. And then what I immediately searched the website, and then already several people have shared their bad experiences. And then, like in US also, I heard one lady, she, artificial intelligence, and then I'm here to say that it is doing injustice to the people who are living. And in cinema industry, they would like to bring the people who are not alive, who are dead, and then who were celebrities, of course, and then we cannot deny that. And then already AI anthem is there on the website. There is no human being involved in that. But then you see a lot of human being, singing and playing the music. So that is the world. And then the virtual world and the real world, how to actually, draw a line so that we know, how to control. And then the AI or the technology, I feel that it has really weakened the original strength of the human being. And then go back to 60 years and 70 years, the human being, all the work they did by themselves. And now you see one side, PhD, education, all that, the other side, so many gymnasium coming out, exercising places for what then? Like we don't work because technology is really, has become a blessing in our life. At the same time, we have failed to, really study in what way it is weakening our mental strength and also our physical strength. And then if we are not careful, in America, one lady received a phone call, and then her child was crying, "Mummy, save me, here is an uncle threatening." And then she spoke with a man over the phone again after the child. And then he said that we have kidnapped your child, and then this is the ransom. And she said that, "Tell me, where should I come, and don't do any harm to my child." She went to she transferred the money, went to the place to receive the child. There wasn't anyone. And she tried calling the number, and then it was blocked. The number already, the number wasn't existing. Then she's calling the school. The school is telling, "Your child is safe with us in the school." See, a phone call came. She believed, the voice, and it wasn't her. It is artificial intelligence, doing voice modulation. And then, like the virtual world is really making even the educated, the brilliant, the wise people submerged into illiteracy. And then even I'm here to say that 40, 50 years ago, the government took a lot of effort to eradicate illiteracy, and they want everyone to be literate, and they really succeeded. Now, like, everyone can read and write in their own mother tongue in India. And then with regard to this mobile or laptop or the technology or the AI, I am an illiterate. I have to, I go to my son to learn something, and my son knows better, and my daughter knows better. So, and then how we can really be ethical. This is the plight around us. So you can probably, like throw some light in this regard. How, wise the people, the participants who are there should be with regard to education, ethics, and the new arrival, that is artificial intelligence or the technology.
Thank you. Actually, artificial intelligence, we had a lot of discussion. We have a big AI research center here. We had a lot of discussions on this. Frankly speaking, no one has an idea how artificial intelligence is going to impact the society or higher education. Last year we have conducted a national-wide seminar for the vice chancellors in India, and I was one of the organizers for that event. And I told them to discuss on this issue. Most of the vice chancellors said that's not at all an issue. Artificial intelligence is not an issue. But now we know, every faculty knows, it's a big problem for the faculty, teachers, to find out whether this is produced by the student or by ChatGPT. It's difficult. Now, that doesn't stop there. That doesn't stop there. Many other facets of the artificial intelligence. See, for example, we have recently, I think, just last month or the last month before, some of the schools came up with an artificial robot teacher, artificial teacher. The teacher is the sari, just like a human being teaching in the class. Okay, this is only the first version. Okay, then we have the upgrade. You'll get very soon. You'll get upgraded versions from China. Then imagine if you are the principal. Okay, instead of spending a lot of money on the salaries, you just buy 5 to 6 robots like teachers like this. They won't fall sick, no medical leaves, no annual leaves, nothing. No need to pay salaries. So the entire education system can collapse. There's a possibility there. The students, sometimes. So I actually the possibilities are unlimited. Nobody knows which direction we are going. So instead of just thinking, oh, we are going in this direction, let us deal the current problem. The current problem is, again, this plagiarism, ChatGPT, artificial. So that's why just now I've shown you as a sample how to come up with the assessment. Okay, I'm going to share that with you. That's just a guideline of it, for you to follow how assessment can be done in your ChatGPT. You have tools like Turnitin, but imagine Turnitin cannot fully help you, because Turnitin detects the words. It says, oh, this much percentage of words, and it can tell you from where it's taken. And the students can be very creative, they can simply change the words, change the structures, and make it look like original work. That's what they can do. So we cannot do anything. That's why our entire assessment style has to change. We have to slowly stop from all these report writing things and maybe focus more on presentations, more on formative assessment. That's why I said formative assessment. Okay, do more of formative assessment, because you are observing the student, you see how they talk, how they respond in the class, how they are presenting, so you can assess them based on that. But this requires a lot of integrity from the faculty themselves. They should not be unbiased simply because one girl looks very beautiful, you cannot give more marks to her. Okay, you should be unbiased. So that thing, first, we ourselves have to develop that ethical values. Then automatically the students will learn from us.
Thank you so much. That was the right answer. And then there is one more question: how to improve quality education and higher education? Have you answered this one? That's the last question. Okay.
Yeah.
And there is a comment in the chat box. The possibility is that instead of sending their children, school parent in future may buy subject specific robots for their children.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Sir, Abhidhav Kumar sir, actually, that can happen, There are umpteen possibilities, and this is one of the possibilities. I think the entire education landscape is going to is what I've been telling. A lot of people don't agree with me, but I can foresee that the entire system can be changed, because at the end of the day, education is still a business. So a lot of private business companies, why do they want to waste the money when they have other ways of easily making money, right? So your possibility can happen. The children can sit at home, use robots to learn the things. They do not go, because the robot has got more knowledge. One robot can teach all the subjects, right? All the courses. So, right? Because it all depends on the information you feed. And the robot also, the third generation or fourth generation of artificial intelligence. I think we already seen, in Andhra and Orissa and all, we have the news casters in the TV reading the news. They're artificial AI robots. And the second generation is coming up with facial expressions. That means whenever they read sad news, their face becomes sad, and happy news, they must start smiling, and the cheekbones will go, their eyebrows will frown, and all these things are there in the second. Imagine the third, fourth, what happens, you cannot distinguish between a human and a robot. And China is very, 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 very fast in producing this, in developing this technology. So probably 3 years, 5 years, I don't know, but it's bound to happen.
Okay, there is another comment. Education should never be commercialized, which is root cause of all unethical practices. And then, I think this AI and then technology, internet, and then the devices connected with that, everyone is having in their hand, and also, so it's coming with us, in fact, and then we are submerged into that. And then mainly the teaching learning community, they rely a lot on the information that are there on the internet. And then 90%, see, majority of the news is fake. And then 90% it is wrong data. And then based on that, the teachers are preparing and then sharing the knowledge in their classroom. And then researchers also use the information. So how to really find out? Because if a research or some proposal or a recommendation is made through a PhD dissertation or a research proposal, and then that, the data that is used, it is wrong data. And then, so what is actually, your advice to all of them who are there watching out to you? The teaching, learning, it's happening on day-to-day basis, and everyone minimum 10 times, 10 to 15 times, they, get into the net to, even for cooking, they rely on the videos now. And then, so how exactly, they can be wise and like the swan, drinking only the milk and leaving the water. So how these people can be wise with regard to AI? Because they have to, it cannot be separated from the teaching life of the teaching community, and also and then we are lifelong learners. Every day it's happening. So what could be your advice to these people then?
Yeah, the thing is, unlike 50 years back, now information is available in plain. So you have, because of the internet, because of AI, information is available everywhere. We have to redefine our role. Our mindset has to change. We are not like many, 30 years back, where our teachers and lecturers were teaching, writing something on the board, we taking down the notes, they teach, we memorize, and we write. That is gone already. We have to play the role of a facilitator. That means the information is there, the knowledge is already there. You need not produce anything, it's already there. You guide the student in such a way that they explore, they learn on their own, they come, they have intellectual discussions, that sort of thing. So play the role of a facilitator, don't play the role of a teacher. Okay? Play the role of a facilitator. Redefine your role.
Okay, thank you. And then my final question for you, you are very specialized in quality control. And then when the information, completely we rely on the internet information for all our studies. And then how to identify with regard to quality, creativity, innovation, and then where to draw a line.
Coming again.
Quality control. And then when the information from the website is used for our learning, for our research, and also for our recommendation. And then where is the question of innovation, creativity, because it's all information already available on the website. That is what is, it is not the individual person's innovation or creativity or, thought. So then how to actually draw a line of quality control?
Yeah, currently most of a lot of top institutions are coming up with incubation centers, where the incubation centers and where the students are given a chance to come up with new ideas, to patent the ideas, and the student can, sell that ideas to the companies, make money, we give some part of the money to this sort of innovation, is already good. So students, right from their education time, they're getting involved in creativity, okay, and innovation. And your projects for I'll just take 1 minute, projects. When I came to India, one of my niece, she was studying in a very premier institute, premier university. She was doing engineering. I asked her, "Can you show me your thesis? I just want to have a look at your thesis." Then she said, "Okay." She gave me the thesis. You know what's the thesis about the project? It's nothing but a case study. And I was really shocked, and she was studying in a very good university. And in Malaysia, we don't do that. In Malaysia, at the end of the program, the student must come up with a capstone project, create a working model, and the model must work. Everybody will test it. Only if it works, they give him the degree. They pass it. They give marks for the project. Okay. So fortunately, in India now, we also getting we are introducing the capstone projects in many universities are introducing. Okay. The capstone project must integrate everything right from year 1 until year 4, whatever the study as a step. That involves a lot of innovation and creativity because they cannot copy from something else. They have to create on their own, okay, using their knowledge. So that's it.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Joshua George. And there is one more comment. None of the sources can be foolproof. One has to take every information, need to be cross-checked, taken with a pinch of salt, not as they come. So there's a comment. Yeah. And thank you so much. It was wonderful having you today. And not only me, I think all the participants. And then I think it has really, opened their mind to think beyond in their situation. And I'm sure that today we'll use a feedback form again to, get to know their learning and then the impact that this particular talk has created in them, which will be reflected in whichever environment they are. And then before that, we have the course curator, Dr. John Methuselah. So I would like to, Esther, please spotlight Dr. John Methuselah. I would like to hear from him also about your presentation.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. Thank you once again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Professor Joshua. It was a wonderful session. I don't have words, because I've been, watching the chat also parallelly, and then the kind of excitement that is there in the faculty, listening to this session. I think I'm thrilled with the kind of, feedback and the comments that have been coming and the reactions also. A lot of, clapping things, reactions, and then love also. I mean, heart symbols, and then no, very good. This thumbs ups, a lot of thumbs ups, hearts, and all that. I don't know. People started loving this session, and that is the testimony of what the session is like. Even I see them flying now. I think if you are seeing, you also can actually enjoy it. This is a wonderful session, and we want Professor Joshua to come again and again. And he has sessions, of course, to the participants. I'm telling you, another thrilling news is he is going to come for another couple of sessions also to us, and we will really enjoy. And he has given very good answers to very pertinent questions on ethics, particularly the question on research. question on research and AI, how whether we can use AI in research and all. These are all pertinent questions. People are not knowing where to ask, whom to ask, and how to get this answer, I think. But today we have got the answer from the horse's mouth, right? So I thank Professor Joshua for being with us today and taking us along with wonderful, it's a treat. It's a wonderful treat to the ears, to the eyes, and it's a food for thought for all of us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Joshua, and thank you, Rajula. Yeah. Thanks to
Uh,
all the participants, but please stay on, participants.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Joshua George again. And we would like to listen to you again and again. And then there is a request from the participant side also. They would like to listen to you. So the invitation already extended, and then we'll be having more program. And thank you very much. So we will stay in touch, and then it's time to listen to the course curator now. And darling Selvi ma'am, since you have joined, could you please introduce Dr. John Methuselah? We are done with the first session by Professor Josh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I joined late today, but I'm really happy to introduce. We heard a lot from him, Dr. John Methuselah yesterday itself. He's a great educationalist in the field of education. He's a poet and he's a writer and so on and on. We heard from him many times in many aspects. So he's a specialist of.
Ma'am, you mute.
Sorry, all dimensions of ethics also. So, sir, today, even today, we are eager to hear from you. The session is over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam Darling. Now, may I request my presentation to be shown, the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, sir. Just a moment.
Esther, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So it's live now.
Yeah. Can you put it on?
Yeah, sure.
I mean the standard mode. Yeah. So now I think this session, after a very thrilling session after Professor Joshua's, will not be water after wine. Faculty, good evening, everyone. Once again, let me tell you the purpose of this program. The purpose of this faculty development program is to, encourage all the teachers in the higher education to promote ethics in higher education. So that's the reason why we are actually touching upon the areas where we have to be cautious about, careful about, and then if we are not ethical ourselves, we cannot talk about ethics. So that's the reason why we have come up with this program to empower you, to educate you. Well, this session is about understanding the ethical purpose of educational excellence and institutional excellence. Here, if we see, there are two different things. One is educational excellence on one side, and there is the institutional excellence on the other side. And what are we looking at? We are looking at the purpose of both of these, the ethical purpose. So does it have one purpose different from ethical purpose? Yes, because these days, excuse me, the purposes have been changing. Like, the purpose of an institution is like giving a lot of placements. Or a purpose of academics has become like giving more marks to the students, or accepting anything as a record, like Professor Joshua in his deliberation told us about the thesis writing and all that, how it's not up to the mark. So see these non-standard things, they are happening, and that has become their purpose. And finally, financial commitments have become the purpose. So we are trying to deviate from all those things, and we are trying to think of how we can understand and get out of this, but at the same time work for the ethical purpose of the educational excellence that we are thinking of, and institutional excellence. Shall we go to the next slide, please? So here we are trying to understand the ethical purpose. Ethical purpose of both educational excellence and institutional excellence is crucial for fostering a holistic and ethical approach to education. So education, if we see in Vedas, what is education? Education is for moksha. That's what they write. So all the Vedas, if you go and study the Vedas, if somebody has done their studies in the field of education, they will know Vedas talk about the ultimate point of education as moksha. And in the other religions, the education is for reaching God. So there is a kind of purgation happening to reach God, or to reach a highest point of consciousness. We need a kind of purgation, and this can happen only with holistic, ethical approach to education. So let us delve into each aspect one by one. Can we go to the next one, please? Yes. Let us look at educational excellence. The focus of educational excellence centers on the quality of teaching, learning, and academic outcomes within an educational setting. You all know this. We've been discussing this for the last 3 days. The three arms: one is teaching, the other is learning, and the outcome. That is what we are looking at. And what is the educational setting? When I say educational setting, we are talking about the ecosystem that is there. Ecosystem of education that is prevailing. Is it the right ecosystem, or do we need another ecosystem, is the question. So the focus here is on that, and the scope for our discussion this evening on educational excellence pertains to the effectiveness of the curriculum that we have chosen, of the instruction that is being imparted in the classroom, or the methodology and the approach that's been implemented in the classroom, and the kind of assessment methods that are going in. Are these assessment methods in sync with the instruction? And is the instruction in sync with the curriculum? And the curriculum, is it in sync with the syllabus? Is the syllabus in sync with the values and ethics that the nation has actually come up with? Because our nation, our country is a great country. For that matter, any country, the values, you go around anywhere in the world, the values are the same. The ethics are the same. So when we take a universal outlook of this, are we supporting all these values finally? So the support services that we are looking at, are they fostering student growth and achievement, or have we actually limited that growth and achievement, or do they need to be redefined? Because growth is redefined today as growth in financial assets. Achievement is today, defined as, achievement of more marks if it is academics, or achievement of some kind of a position in the society. But reaching that position is okay. But whether that position is helping somebody, or how that particular person has reached that particular position, nobody bothers about, because once the person reaches that position, they applaud to that person. But then because that person is in that position, or because we are applauding the lopsided growth of such achievements, or the person or the system that has achieved so much, we are actually applauding, which is unethical. So when we are talking about educational excellence, what are the key elements that we are going into? The key elements are the educational excellence, which emphasizes factors such as rigorous academic standards. Till now, we have been listening to Professor Joshua. Rigorous academic standards he was talking about, and the innovative pedagogical approaches that are there in the classroom. That's what I've just discussed about, the approaches and the methodology. I don't know how many faculty actually are given the time and the resources to experiment on pedagogical approaches and methodology, because we are in a rush. I hope every faculty would agree with me. We all have a thirst in us. We have hunger in us. We want to do something more better and creative in the classroom. But do we have that ecosystem which actually helps us to and supports the innovative pedagogical approaches that we would like to take into the classroom? And the key elements other than this are faculty expertise. Faculty expertise. Faculty have to literally every day spend their time, most of their time, in the library. But do we have the time is one question. Second one, do we have the interest to go to the library, take out the books, refer to more number of books and see how things are connected? Or are we actually depending on guides and test papers and related things? Are we having a first-hand knowledge of research, or do we have a second-hand knowledge of research? Unfortunately, I want to point this out today evening, and that is on the net, in the Facebook, we find a lot of institutions or organizations coming up and saying, we will do your research, we will get your paper published, we will do your PhD, you come and talk to us. 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh to 2.5 lakh, 3 lakhs. There are some 5 lakh rupees also people paying for their PhD. Imagine such people paying a lot of money to get their thesis, writing their thesis, coming and becoming faculty in an institution, and see the appointment, the ethicality of the appointment, and what they would do after coming into the university without any knowledge of what they have done. So the faculty expertise is the key element. Then the student engagement. Is the student engaged in the classroom or in the purpose of learning or not? And the academic achievement. Whether this academic achievement is really the achievement, or do we call it or dub it as achievement? So these are pertinent questions when we talk about educational excellence. Then the goal of educational excellence, as seen, or the primary goal, is to ensure that students receive a high quality education. This is the bottom line everywhere, because when we join our kids in the school, we find out whether this school is good or not, whether they are giving quality education or not, whether they are preparing for the future or not. See, preparing them for future success academically, professionally, and personally. These are the 3 areas. It's not just preparing for a job. It's preparing for success academically, professionally, and personally. So many are failing personally. You find a lot of divorces in the society now, lot of live-in relationships in the society now. Why are all these happening? Is it not personal? How education is not able to make them mature? People are becoming intelligent, people are smart, people are very clever, but where is wisdom? Wisdom has to be churned out in the universities, but unfortunately we are discounting wisdom. It's not even on the even on the point of agendas that we have. It's not the least point on the agenda also. So academically, professionally, personally, if you are looking at the success, then I think we are talking about the wisdom, and that becomes educational excellence. Can we go to the next one? So institutional excellence, when we talk about this, the focus is on institutional performance, overall performance, and the reputation of the institution as a whole. We have a lot of institutions that have got, a reputation now. And in India, we say that the Ivy League are IIMs and IBM, or IBS, or IITs. These are the premium institutions, or we call them the Ivy League of India. Don't we have different Ivy Leagues? Even in the 21st century, if we are depending on the same thing, then what about institutional excellence for every institution? Are they not excellent? Now, there are many journals, there are many, organizations, they are coming up and asking, sir, we are going to give you an award, and it will be, hosted, nationally and internationally. That award will be given by Amitabh Bachchan. You have to pay this much. You are selected. You please send your profile. So everything is being sold. When it is being sold, institutions are getting ranks like that. I suppose everybody would agree with me on this. The institutions are getting ranks. Somewhere they are number one. The ranks are getting like that. So overall performance, what kind of overall performance are we looking at? Then the scope of educational institution is to encompass various aspects of the institution. When we talk about various aspects, we include governance, we include leadership, we include the infrastructure, resources, research community, and the community engagement. Do we have a research community or research individuals in the universities and colleges? We need to create that community, right? And I see the staff rooms also must be actually a place where there is research reverberating. So if we can create that, then definitely institutional excellence can happen. Institution support is needed for faculty to write papers. I know this. There are many institutions who are willing to support their faculty, to go to different places, place their papers there. I mean, present their papers there, discuss, come back, and then present them back with their students and all. But the others who are not doing it, I think the institutions must catch up quickly on this. And the key elements for institutional excellence, I would say, are the factors such as strategic planning, resource management, accreditation. That is what Professor Joshua has talked till now. The accreditation, faculty and staff development, student support services, diversity and inclusion initiatives. That also we have heard till now. Yesterday also we have heard. And partnerships with stakeholders. Who are our stakeholders? Stakeholders are industry and the society. The parents are the stakeholders, the society is the stakeholder, industry is the stakeholder, even the country is a stakeholder, because our country is going to benefit from whatever resource pool we are making from our colleges or universities. So the goal of educational excellence is to establish and maintain a reputation for excellence in all aspects of operation, how they operate, right from the admission advertisement, the recruitment advertisement. So these acts of operation, and thereby they attract talented students, faculty, staff, and resources to support the institution's mission and goals. Now, I find some institutions, not every institution, but there are some institutions, they haggle like they haggle in the vegetable market. They haggle with the faculty on vegetable market, like they are buying some vegetables or they are buying some fishes in the fish market. And that is a very sorry thing that is actually happening. And then, faculty, I think, sometimes the teacher is getting so disheartened. Why is this happening to me after studying so much? Why is this happening to me? So it is on the shoulders of the institution to give a bharosa to the guru, saying that guru is the important person in the society, so he must be treated well. His needs must be met, and this is the kind of salary I would be giving. So I think commitment must be made on that front. So when it comes to educational excellence, the ethical purpose of educational excellence would be providing equitable access to high quality education that nurtures their intellectual, emotional, and social developments. Intellectual development, emotional development, and social development. Are we looking at all these three as a whole or not? So that if you are not looking at all those, they're only focusing on intellectual development and without emotional and social development, then the purpose of educational excellence is gone. And ethically, it is imperative that educational institutions prioritize. I'm reiterating this word, prioritize on the well-being and success of every student. Every student has paid the fees and joined the college. So why only some students are given more attention, some are never given anything? So this is where educational excellence comes in. No, we as educators, teachers are educators. We as educators, we have to take care of every student. So if we are not taking care of some students, we are not mature enough. So I think teachers are considered to be the most mature beings on this earth. So if the student is not mature, then our immaturity should not be a counterforce to the immaturity of the student. So regardless of their background, abilities, or circumstances, we as teachers must help them, and that becomes educational excellence. Can we go to the next one, please? Yeah. We are talking about two different things, educational excellence and institutional excellence. I think this picture will give you everything about what we are talking. One, educational excellence. See, I have actually marked this intentionally in the colors. Educational excellence and whatever are evolving from that, or whatever contribute to the educational excellence, are in the color of institutional excellence. So you cannot remove one from the other. One cannot stand without the other. So equity and inclusion, academic integrity, student well-being is educational excellence. And the focus on transparent and accountability, diversity and inclusion, and community engagements become the educational excellence. You can take this picture, have it in mind, and then discuss this. Can we go to the next one, please? Because the time is running out. Yeah. You see this picture on equity. Equality and equity. Equality is, no, they are not, of the same height. But still you are making them stand on the same plane and look. But equity, you are giving them a different plane and making them look equal. So that is the difference between equity and equality. I thought the picture would be better than 1,000 words. And community work, see what is happening there. Do our students go back to the community and discuss whatever is there in the textbook, or how do they apply the concepts that are there in the textbooks in the society? Are there only 2, 3 cases like that? Or is every student asked to do that? Are they encouraged to do that? There is NSS, there is NCC in some of the institutions, and there are some other different programs also in the institutions. I think we have to come up with creative ideas to actually see that every student interacts with the community, so that the textbook is unfolding in the community. And plagiarism, I think Professor has talked about plagiarism. Professor Joshua has talked about inclusion also. But I would say the core of all that is integrity. I would like to take 2 minutes when we discuss this integrity, because we are having two words, honesty and integrity. Honesty is being true to others. Integrity is being true to ourselves. If we are true to ourselves, that is enough. Honesty is always there. But if we are honest, then we don't have an answer to our conscience. This is what I would like to say. Shall we go to the next one? So the bottom line here is educate, empower, and serve. EES. So shall we say yes to this? If you say yes, then give me a thumbs up. We will educate, empower, and serve. That's great. I've been getting a lot of thumbs up. So it was great talking to you. I think I could make my point. And most of all, I appreciate all the faculty who have taken time to be with us this evening, and their interest in this and their participation is really encouraging Globethics and Rani Anna and a curator like me and the team of Globethics to work with you. That's the reason why we are bringing in talented professors to actually address you. And if this encouragement goes on, we will have more such programs. So tomorrow there's another very good program coming up. So let us pause for a while here, and then I welcome everyone to tomorrow's program. Over to you, Rajula and darling madam.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. We have a single question to be answered.
Yeah.
The question is, faculties go by as desired or as directed by the management. Very little scope to do things in your own way with all noble intention. Whether go by as desired or directed. That's the focus.
That's an excellent question, a persistent question. I'm telling you, whoever asked this question is super. I mean, they have asked for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm telling you, and I promise you, the answer for this cannot be in one word. And we have one session lined up in the same program. You meet us tomorrow, day after tomorrow, be with us, and you have answers for this question. Keep this question alive. Keep this question alive. And all related questions. We have a special session on that, madam.
I would like to add something from my side, and then because you touched these areas in your talk, and then nowadays, I think I did discuss this with you. When you open Facebook, a lot of pop-up advertisement for honorary doctorate, and then I really wanted to see what it is, and then I just gave my detail, and then immediately through WhatsApp they approached and they said that Lagos University and then Washington University, you get a doctorate, you have to send your CV like that. And then to get an honorary doctorate, I'm aware that you have to be, extremely successful, and then you should have given meaning to the people who do not have meaning in their life. And then for me, like getting an honorary, someone who has, lifetime achievement by giving light into others' life. So I just wanted to have a feel of that. And then they told that Washington University doctorate is 70,000 and the Lagos is 1,40,000. And then they said that you send your CV. I sent my CV. They said that you're selected. Then I said that I don't want this degree, because if I am getting honorary doctorate, the rest of the Indians also should get along with me. So that was my, feeling. That is one thing. And the second thing, once we circulated this FTP invitation, many people called me and they said that they would like to sign a MOU with Globethics. And then Globethics is international. And then I just asked them, you have not attended and then you have not worked with us. We don't know your resources, what you could really contribute, to the teaching learning community and also in higher education. And then they told that you sign MOU with us. If you have international conference, we'll send 5 people, 10 people like that. And then I told that, first of all, you just let me know your action plan with the Globethics. And I do not know, I've not identified the synergy to, to work with in the future. So I think like many institutions probably, I think there is a requirement through by NAC or UGC because so many are fond of MOU. Then another thing, another person told me that there is a program in Thailand and then you can join. And then I asked, can you share the program schedule? He said it's only 3 hours program. The rest of the 3 days you go around sightseeing. So how can I go and promote global ethics in a community that is going for a 3 hours program to, and the institution, the thing is, the institution is investing money on them. It's not personal money. The university is spending money on the teachers to attend or, attend conferences in international level for them to have some international learning and or to get international perspectives. So there are some purpose, but then if things are happening in this way, again, I think this will also fall under that ethical challenges. And then it's upcoming. And then it's going to be more in the future. So today, if there is no time, probably in the coming days, you could address.
Well, there are appreciations pouring from the chairs regarding the presentation of Dr. John Methuselah. So today we are fortunate enough to hear from Dr. John Methuselah on the topic, understanding the ethical educational excellence versus institutional excellence on the key points, focus, scope, key elements, and goal on both aspects under educational excellence as well as institutional excellence. We got a crystal clear idea regarding these two. He stressed that ethical educational excellence reflects in intellectual, emotional, and social development. Educational excellence is based on equity and inclusion, student well-being, and academic integrity. And institutional excellence is based on transparency and accountability, diversity and inclusion, and community engagement. So this is 100% true from our experience also. Finally, educate, empower, and serve. We all say a big yes to ease. Thank you, sir, for the thought-provoking session. And yeah, we do commit ourselves to follow these yes. And actually, there's no more question, both on the chat box as well as on the Q&A. So it's we are on time. Well, let's wrap up our second day of the FDP on ethics model of excellence framework. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of Commerce, Raniana Government College for Women, Tirunelveli, and Globethics South Asia Center, Bangalore, we extend our sincere thanks to you all for making time in your busy schedules to join us here today. Our special gratitude to all the two speakers of today, Dr. Joshua and Dr. John Methuselah, for their multidimensional points of view regarding ethics and its observations. I gratefully remember all the participants from different parts of the globe for their precious time and patient listening. I kindly request all of you to join again tomorrow, exactly at 4 p.m. Have a good evening. See you all tomorrow. Thank you all for your wonderful participation.